The decision has been made. Isn't it odd how bravery and foolishness often have the same result? One by one you step into the red portal, the light swallows you whole. For a moment there is no floor, no sky, no breath, no sound, only the feeling of being pulled through a passage of tiny proportions. Then you arrive where you started? Holy twisted portals, adventurers, what is this? The room is familiar, yes, but wrong. The shelves sag beneath years of dust. The walls are cracked. The air is stale and dry. The house looks abandoned, as though no living soul has crossed its threshold in years. Behind you, the portal burns red, but so do the windows. Outside, the world glows like a furnace. A black trail scorches the floor beneath your feet. It cuts through the room, across the threshold, and out the front door, which hangs broken from its hinges. Someone was dragged from this place. Someone screaming, perhaps. You follow the trail outside. The world you know is still here, but only in shape. The verdant forest is gone, replaced by a graveyard of black trees. The grass is ash. The sky is red. Smoke crawls over the land, and the earth smolders as though the fire only just passed through. The trail leads south. Of course it does. With every step, the heat worsens. Your armor warms against your skin. Your throat dries. The air shakes. Then the burned trees part and the lake comes into view. Only it's no longer a lake. It is fire. A vast sea of molten lava churns where the water once lay. It bubbles and rolls, throwing sparks into the red sky. The heat bends the world around it, twisting distance, shape, and sense. And there, across the western shore, barely visible through the burning haze, stands a tower, tall, black, waiting. The scorched trail turns towards it, then vanishes along the molten shore. The necromancer must have been taken this way. If he lives, that is. If the portal can be closed, the answer must be there. And between you and the tower lies a lake that would boil the courage from your bones. So tell me, adventurers, do you cross the fire? Do you turn back? Or do you look for another road? Before you can answer, something moves from within the haze. A figure emerges from the heat, dragging a crooked cart across the scorched ground. Horns rise from his head, and a tail drags behind him. Its skin is red and shines in the furnace's glow. A demon. It stops a short distance away. Then, with great ceremony, it raises a pole and drives it into the earth. A white flag unfurls. How comforting. The demon smiles, then it pulls a lever. Shelves unfold, bottles swing into place, weapons drop down from hidden hooks. Armor plates clatter onto display stands. A little painted sign flips over, though the letters appear to be written by someone with far too many fingers and no concern for spelling. The demon spreads its arms wide as though welcoming old friends. Approach with caution, adventurers. Not every monster charges. Some offer discounts. Ah, portal hoppers. I knew I smelled opportunity and fear. Welcome, welcome, honored travelers, doomed wanderers, and armed customers of an uncertain lifespan. Please do not draw your weapons unless you intend to buy something sharp enough to replace them. I am but a humble merchant, a servant of commerce, a friend to all who possess coin, barter, jewels, heirlooms, teeth, secrets, or recently acquired cursed objects. You have stepped through a portal, yes. Of course you have. Look at you, suit on your boots, panic in the eyes, heroic confusion in the posture, a classic portal hopper condition. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can we trust this charming demon with the marvelous cart and the very reassuring white flag? Yes, an excellent question. The answer is not entirely, but can you afford not to? Totally different question. Much better question. Behold my wares. potions, weapons, armor, boots of questionable conviction, helmets of almost useful wisdom. Here, this red potion is probably, maybe, almost certainly a health potion. This blue one tingles when I hold it. This green one looks tasty, which is more than I could say for the last adventurer who drank it. Ah, now this is a treasure, the flaming sword of fire +4, magnificent against ice creatures, respectable against ordinary creatures, completely useless against fire creatures. But let's not dwell on technicalities in a lava adjacent marketplace. And here, ice armor +5. Yes, it is melting. That proves it's real ice. False advertising, never. Rapid environmental incapability, perhaps. Here are some boots of confident direction. They always point somewhere, not necessarily somewhere helpful, but confidence is half the journey. The shield of dramatic timing blocks the very first attack, but only if someone says something heroic first. Wonderful for parties with flair, terrible for introverts. And this fine piece, the helm of nearly useful insight, it warns you of danger shortly after the danger has become obvious. A bargain for those who enjoy confirmation. Now then, my brave, flammable friends, you look like people with a problem. I look like someone willing to profit from it. Let us not insult each other by pretending otherwise. The tower, yes. Everyone wants the tower eventually. Some seek power, some seek answers, some seek screaming dark elves dragged by terrible forces through inconvenient geography. Was that yours? No judgment. I have lost customers in stranger ways. Buy, trade, ask your questions, but do be quick. This is a dangerous road, and danger, like inventory, moves quickly. Ah, so the screaming dark elf is yours. That does explain the smell of responsibility. Yes, yes. He passed this way. Well, passed is genuous. He was dragged quickly towards the tower, screaming something about destiny, control, and how everyone had misunderstood his genius. Very wizardly, very embarrassing. Now, I can tell you how to reach him, but I should warn you, the direct road is less a road and more of a long scenic suicide. The shore is too hot for your tender mortal skins. You would boil in your armor before you reach the first bend. Luckily for you, I am genuous. Also, bored. There is a cave mouth not far from here, much cooler inside. Darker, yes. Damper, certainly. Safer? Well, safer than walking beside a lake of molten death. And in business, adventurers, comparison is everything. Follow the cave downward, keep moving. If you hear drums, do not stop to admire the music. If something whispers your name, pretend you have never heard of yourself. And if the walls start glowing, walk faster. With a little luck, the caves will bring you out closer to the tower. Without luck, well, I do buy used equipment. The cave is that way. Do hurry. Your dark elf sounded terribly urgent. Well, that was helpful, in a way that a knife is helpful when it points towards a wound. I doubt that this is the last time we've heard from him. Did anyone bother to ask his name? No? Oh well, I am sure that will not come back to haunt you later. You lead the demon merchant behind and make your way towards the cave he so genuinely recommended. The entrance waits ahead, black and crooked in the scorched earth. A foul smell drifts from within, rot, damp stone, and something old enough to resent being disturbed. But from the darkness comes a cool mist. After the heat of the lava lake, it almost feels merciful. Almost. You step inside, and the heat fades behind you. The tunnel slopes down sharply, pulling you deeper into the earth with every careful step. For a time, there is only darkness, stone, and the sound of your own movement. Then, the ground levels beneath your feet. Ahead, a pale light glows at the edge of the tunnel. No voices, no dripping water, no insects, no distant movement, nothing. And in a cave, adventurers, nothing is rarely a good sign. Proceed carefully. The cool air was a relief. Do not mistake it for safety. You move towards the pale light at the end of the tunnel, step by careful step. Then the passage opens, and the world beneath the world reveals itself. Before you stretches an enormous cavern, so vast that your eyes struggle to find its farthest wall. Inside it stands a city. Ancient dwellings cling to stone, bridges cross impossible drops, carved walls rise into shadow, strange towers pierce the darkness, their tops lost in the gloom above. Nothing moves, no voices, no footsteps, only a sleeping silence. Cross carefully, adventurers. Do not wake what waits here. As you reach the first bridge, stone below and darkness beneath that. A charming arrangement for anyone fond of falling. Then a drumbeat, low, distant. Another follows, then another. Lights appear in the windows. Ah, you fool of a toque. You woke it. The silent city is no more. From the nearest dwelling, figures emerge. Their skin is the color of deep purple stone, their eyes glowing beneath tattered ceremonial robes. In their hands, they carry heavy clubs and shields made from the hardest insect shell. Lovely craftsmanship, terrible hospitality. Intruders have awakened the silent city. The drum beats quicken. More lights flare in the windows. The first guards step onto the bridge. Then they charge. Watch your footing, adventurers. These creatures mean to break you, shove you, and send you screaming into the black. Win quickly, because every glowing window is another eye opening. And if the whole city reaches you, well, let's just avoid educational demonstrations. Ready yourselves, adventurers. The bridge is yours to hold. The final guard falls. Across an adjacent bridge, more figures appear. Their eyes glow in the dark, their clubs rise, their shields scrape against stone, and behind them, more lights ignite in the windows. Ah, here is a tactical observation for you, adventurers. You cannot kill a city. Run, you fools! Leap into the broken stones. Keep your balance on the narrow bridges. Find the open passages. You run across one bridge, then another. Stones crack beneath your feet. Bone darts hiss past your head. A drum follows, always a drum. Ahead, you see an opening, a narrow passage between two ancient dwellings. Freedom, perhaps. Then, figures step from the dark. More behind you, to the left, to the right. The bridge is filled with glowing eyes and raised weapons. Ah, a classic adventuring development. You're surrounded. An elite guard pushes through the others, larger than the rest, its carapaced shield scarred by many old battles. Clubs strike stone, break their line, and create an opening. When you see it, run! You break through. Ahead, through the chaos, you see an opening in the cavern wall. A doorway, perhaps, or a throat. Glowing runes burn around its edges, carved deep within the stone. Old magic. And behind you, the bridges are full. Hundreds of deep cave dwellers pour towards you, their drums pounding, their voices shrieking, their eyes lit with murder. There isn't time to study the runes. No time for one of you to say, wait, this might be dangerous. You plunge into the rune-marked opening. For one breath, the light swallows you. Then, the sound behind you changes. The drums stop. Silence returns. Whatever those runes are, they did not welcome the city's children. Which means, adventurers, you may have escaped one danger by entering the territory of another. The cave around you glows with a soft green and blue light. Algae clings to the walls, casting strange shadows across the stone. The air is damp, cool, almost peaceful. And there in the center of the cavern stand 3 enormous mushrooms. Harmless looking things, which in my experience is how nature says, "Stand closer, fool." You pause to catch your breath. Then the mushrooms move. Slowly, their thick stalks twist upon their bases, their caps turn towards you and split open into mouths. Wide, wet, hungry mouths. Spores burst into the air, thick and choking. The glowing algae underfoot begins to swell and pop beneath your foot. Of course, killer mushrooms. To arms, adventurers! There is not much room for negotiation. You stand among torn stalks, burst spores, and glowing slime, tired, filthy, and carrying what I suspect is now a deep and personal resentment for one buried cherry demon merchant. Still, you live. And in places like this, that counts as progress. You press onward. The cave floor begins to rise. The cool mist thins. The damp air dries in your lungs. Step by step, the comfort of the cavern fades. Then the oppressive heat returns. Moisture vanishes from the stone. The walls grow warm beneath your hands. Ahead, red light bleeds through the mouth of the cave. You emerge at last into the burning world beyond. Before you stands the tower in modest clarity, black against the red sky, no longer a shadow in the heat. The tower rests perhaps a day's journey away, across broken stone and scorched earth. Somewhere inside may be the young dark elf wizard, or what remains of him. But not tonight. Tonight, adventurers, you rest. Not because you are safe. Don't be ridiculous. You rest because your bodies demand it, your spells are spent, and even heroes must occasionally stop the bleeding.